G'day everybody, welcome to Pushback with me, Scott. It's been a week since my last video. Since I'm still new at trying to mix together everything, it's taken me longer to get something out. So I'm going to just do a weekly wrap up for this week, and we'll see how it goes. Maybe that'll be the format to go in the future, we'll just see. So, in the last week, we've had some interesting news pop out across Australia. We've had a mini race riot in Geraldton. We've had a politician who has taken donations from Chinese businessmen with close ties to the Communist Party in China. What else have we had? We've had a big push to water down 18C, which I've talked about in my first video, and a few other social justice warriors, regressive I should say, crap. So we'll dive right into it. The Federal Parliament's come back for the first week since the election, and it's been interesting. What we've had dominate the headlines is same-sex marriage instead of fixing our debt. Which, I don't know, if I was homosexual, what would worry me more? Having a decent economy so I could actually live in a house, buy a house, and wait a little bit longer to get married, or be able to get married and not be able to afford it because the economy's gone down the shit. Yeah? Just think if you're a homosexual in Greece at the minute. What would you rather? Now, looks like we've seen some more of the Black Lives Movement Australia come to town. We had tragically a young 13-year-old boy was hit by a car and killed. And the driver of the car had been arrested and was in court, and a large group of Indigenous people come up and tried to break into the courthouse after a peaceful demonstration and tried to get in there and lynch him. And we've seen a dozen cops hurt. And for what? You know, lots of stuff vandalised. And it's probably set back the referendum to amend the Constitution, which pertains to the Indigenous population. Alright, so that could be something to watch out for. We'll see if there's any more violent demonstrations that is related to the new Black Lives Matter Australia movement. And speaking of the economy, as I did before, sorry, I'm going to be jumping around all over the place because I'm just doing this ad hoc, because reading the screens, as you've seen from my first two videos, isn't the best. Okay, the next item of business is Sam Dastyari, the Big Dasher as he likes to be called. It was found out that he took a $1,600 donation for a speaking tour when he went over the limit for parliamentary allowances. What a high task. Asking a Chinese businessman for $1,600 when you make heaps of money as an Australian opposition frontbencher. I think it's around about the same amount that Barack Obama makes, and he's got the power to destroy the world, whereas you've got sweet F-all. Come on, really? And while people have been digging into this, it's also been found out that he had another businessman pay $40,000 in legal fees, who recently wrote in a Chinese newspaper that paying the major Australian political parties doesn't get him the influence that he likes, and that all other Chinese businessmen should either get more influence or cut the payments. So yeah, that's a good one. That's a good guy to tie yourself up with, Dusty. And it's also come out that during the federal election, he was giving a talk where this same businessman was at, where he said that we should just let China do what they want in the South China Sea instead of following international law, which is his party's policy position and the Australian government's policy position. Jeez. And one of the worst things is that the money that he said he would pay back, the $1,600, he went to give it to a charity, and the charity refused. So he's given it to another charity, and he'd be able to claim that as tax exempt because he's given it to a charity. Yeah. Go Team Australia. The other thing that's dominated news in federal parliament has been the more conservative and libertarian senators trying to water down 18C, which I talked about in my first video. I don't think that push will work, considering our Prime Minister is more inner city, cosmopolitan type, instead of blue collar conservative, ideologically conservative person. And even if it did come through, even if it did, what then? With the new laws that the ACT's brought out, which I have been trying to push on the big radio stations to say, come on everybody, look at this. We've had some territory state politicians decided that they're going to change the way that our democracy works to suit their aggressive agenda. And for people who don't know Australia that well, Canberra, being our capital, it was built out in the middle of nowhere because Sydney and Melbourne wouldn't let the others become the capital of Australia. And so all it is, it's filled with bureaucrats. Just country area, hour and a half out of Sydney, and it's just filled with bureaucrats. And yeah, the Australian population's union participation is at 13%, whereas the government bureaucrats population that's in the union is 98. So you know that they're going to be pretty left and pretty regressive these days. So we'll see how it goes. I'm trying to make a big fuss to get everyone to pay attention and say, look at this issue. What are we going to have? Politicians from all over the country, if 18C was watered down, being able to say what they want without being taken to the Human Rights Commission and facing fines or possibly jail time for hurting someone's feelings, you special snowflakes. And then as soon as they get to Canberra, they're under even more aggressive laws than what's in play for the rest of the country. And these laws are still going to be in even with 18C. So now the snowflakes and the offence industry can take them to court all over Australia. But then when they get to, Parliament House and they're doing a doorstop or, some kind of press conference or releasing a typed a response to something, they're under even more aggressive laws than what's around now. Where's this country going to? Seems to me it's going down the gurgler at a pretty fast pace. No wonder we've seen a big turn away from the major parties towards some more honest, down-to-earth people running with the minor parties. So, the other progressive social justice warrior stuff is a 4-year-old is going to start transitioning to become the opposite sex. 4. All I remember when I was 4 was wanting to ride my bike around and I don't know, play with my damn Tonka trucks. When is it too... Come on, you progressives. When is it too young to start shoving your crap down kids' throats? Yeah, I will be going into this because some of the new curriculum that's coming out for kids, it's just bloody horrible. What else? Oh yeah. Geez, we've had 2 12-year-old boys arrested for rape, like actual rape of a 6-year-old girl. Where are the parents? Jeez, wouldn't surprise me if it's just... Yeah, it'll probably be broken households. Yeah, once you get to a certain age, kids cannot be held, or parents cannot be held responsible for their kids' behaviour. But when your kid's in grade 6 and they decide to rape another girl, geez, I hope they put the parents on trial as well for bloody child neglect or something. I don't know, can't give them my favourite response, which is, I won't get into that on here. So this last part, this is a plea to all the adults in our country, not just our country, but the West in general. Stand up, let's start holding some of these people with Peter Pan syndrome responsible for their actions, because we can all see that things are going to hell, and while it doesn't affect us much at the minute in our ordinary lives, it's only going to get worse. So stand up, share this video if you can, talk to your friends about it if you can't make a statement, but come on, we've got to stop this. Let the adults run things again, because since the end of the Cold War, when everyone figured, oh, it's the end of history, we've just been going downhill. We're getting politicians, accepting or asking for money from Chinese businessmen. We've got these regressives trying to push trans, whatever else, gay, lesbian, bloody alphabet, everything down kids' throats. And our basic rights are getting taken away, our rights to free speech. Now we've got to watch out for every bloody snowflake out there. Come on, we can do it. Just, we got to push back. Hence, that's why my channel is Push Back with me. I don't care, I'll take all the flack. It's just water off the duck's back to me. So let's just get our act together. Hopefully I'll get some more vids out soon. I'd like to do what would be best for Australia and my thoughts on the US presidential election, and a few other things I've got going on. that I won't mention. Maybe a couple of interviews if things go my way. So I'll see you guys next time. Remember, if you liked my video, hell, even if you didn't like it that much, because I'm still starting out, but some of the points that I made you thought were valid, share it around. You know, subscribe. I think I'm getting better each video. And, you know, send me your feedback, because I can't improve on areas unless I get more feedback from you guys. So I'll see you guys next time. So